Hi there Aquarius, how are you guys doing? I really hope that this reading finds you well. Welcome to your mid-June 2019 reading. Back with me again, Anisa from Dinner Stereo. For those of you who are new to my channel, hello, and for those of you who have been here a long time, welcome back. So as usual, this is going to be a relationship spread, meaning that you can always apply this with anyone in your life. It could be with your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, wow, exes, crushes, fiancé, family members, anyone. I'm basically just want to be picking up your relationship energy in general, all right? And don't forget to also check your sun, moon, or Venus sign, because for me personally, I realize that with my readings, I resonate much more with my Venus sign rather than my sun sign. But probably because my Venus in 7th house, I don't really know. But if it doesn't resonate, then it just doesn't resonate, all right? There's so many amazing, talented tarot readers out there for you to just click and watch. So let's talk now, Aquarius. By the way, I'm really sorry about the camera positioning. I lost a screw in my tripod when I was in my family vacations. So yeah, now I'm being very creative. I put it on a shelf, but that won't make you be able to see how the cards falls out and stuff like that. But I think I'm going to get it solved probably for your July reading. I don't know. Let's just see, all right? So let's talk about you. Let's talk about your overall energy that I found very interesting here. You have the Nine of Pentacles, Nine of Wands, and also the Emperor card as your overall energy. In a way that you're being very masculine, regardless of the gender that you have. You know, you're being very masculine. There is... And when something is very masculine, for me, it speaks as if like your ego now is starting to speak out. You are starting to realize something that rubs your ego in a way that, you know what? I think it's better for me to be taking care of my Nine of Pentacles first, of my independence, of my freedom, about my future, rather than I be given into my feminine side. Be given into my, you know, because you have the Queen of Cups here as the overall challenge. So the emotional openness of trying to understand people, of being the listener, of trying to listen, to comprehend, and to help people in some ways. Like you're not really wanting to do it in the now. You're like, you know what? I think I need to work on myself first. And I feel like even if it's, yeah, I know it sounds very general, but I feel like also in a general sense, I feel like you're now Nine of Wands for every other people. Like you're pushing people, kind of like not pushing people away, but it's just focusing so much on your masculine energy. Like if you have a friend, or if you have a colleagues, or if you have a family members who would come to you with their problems, and you're like, oh my God, not again. I'm not willing to listen to it. Like don't mess up with my vibe. That's kind of like is your overall energy for the mid-June until the end of June 2019. And also, I feel like with this Emperor card in here, there is a point that you want to make, and you're being very stubborn about it. You felt like, because the Emperor in my other deck, which is the Japanese Tarot, which is now out of stock, it symbolizes by the Work card. Why is the Emperor is always... It symbolizes the Work card in a way that it symbolizes how the Emperor is very protective over his citizen. And right now is you being very protective of yourself. You being very protective of your resources, of what you've worked hard for, of your ego, of your own self-happiness and stuff like that. So now you're being very masculine. And I feel like in the past with the Hermit card in here, you were in a period where you're trying to isolate yourself a lot, where you try to find meanings and to answer, where you no longer want to have a fight, you know, because you have the Five of Wands in reverse in here. You no longer want to have a fight. You no longer want to confront anybody. You no longer want to make a point. You don't want to be harsh. You don't want to push people into doing something. You're just like, you know what? I just wanted to figure out myself. I want to understand myself even better. I want to find meanings into it. You want to contemplate and stuff like that. And when you go into that period of going within, is the period where you felt basically the Ace of Chalices. So it's a beautiful process for you, Aquarius. By the way, don't freak out if you hear me moderate in non-English word. It's just me talking in amnesia. And I feel like you also give a message towards someone like please leave me alone for just a little while, because they have the Eight of Wands. But the Eight of Wands in this particular deck of mine is about receiving information. So you kind of like say to them, like, I don't want to fight. I no longer want to push things through. I don't longer want to, in Indonesia we call it ribet. Like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. I just want to, please leave me alone for just a little while, because I need to find my inspirations. I need to find my muse. I need to find the energy that I've lost, because I've been focusing so much on this relationship, in the past. So that person received that information, and that person also had the Three of Wands in reverse. So the person that you're dealing with in the past, but it's a very, very passive card. You know what I mean? Because Three of Wands is about wishing upon a star. It's a very, very passive card about, I want things in a certain way, wanting to manifest, wanting to grow, but it's a very passive, like they're not really active doing that, but they're much more of, oh, I wish, oh, I fantasize, oh, I want things to be this way, but it's not a very, very active card. So when they receive that message, or when you say to them that you want time out, or you want a time for yourself, you need a little bit of a space, it kind of like shattered all of the fantasies and things, the growth that they want to manifest with you. Nine of Swords. They kind of like, yeah, and then now they're like much more in the Nine of Swords period where, hello darkness, my old friend, I've come to talk with you again. I'm feeling very goofy today because, I just had like an hour where I was just laughing with my daughter, and my daughter is also an Aquarius, so yeah. I mean, you can't really stop thinking about them, but it's just that the thought of them, or thought of you losing them, is no longer that great. I mean, you can't stop thinking about them. It's like it keeps on, it kind of like the situations keeps on circling back together, regardless of how far you want to move away. It's just like keeps on, something always brings me back to you, stuff like that. It's always like that, always, 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 because there's something about them, like the karmic thing that you guys shared, and there's also an addiction towards one another, because you have the Devil card here in the center of your reading. So something physical about them. It's just, it could be the way that they smell, it could be the way you like the texture of their skin, you like how they look, you like how they kisses you, you like how they make love to you. It's stuff like that, and it's kind of like it's all coming back to you, by Celine Dion. So yeah, and this person's also feels that way, so that energy is kind of like quite mutual. But so in order for you to stop focusing so much on this energy, now you guys are much more on the Emperor card. Like, okay, you know what, like let me focus on my independence as a way for me to distract my thought over, touching you, over doing stuff with you, over my addictions towards you. So you guys are kind of like quite addicted to one another. But the funny thing is that you're acting indifferent. So this person is the Sun cards, and the Sun card in this particular deck of mine is like, okay, I want to find my Zen. I want to find my center. I want to go meditate. I want to do what makes me happy. I want to go traveling because I need to find myself, and da-da-da-da. And you're also acting quite indifferent with them. Like, yeah, look, I'm over you. I'm not that bothered, You want to go, it's fine. But deep down inside, you're like the Six of Swords in reverse. You just can't stop thinking about them. It keeps on circling back, and they're like, deep down inside, they're like the Knight of Swords. Especially late at night, you would feel this energy the strongest. You know what I mean? Where do you go when you go quiet? And this also applies to them. Like, when they go quiet, that thing happened. Let's see the future. Queen of Pentacles, the Wheel, Five of Pentacles in reverse, Seven of Cups, and also the Fool card. Yeah, I think things are going to look pretty good on you. Maksudnya ini apa? Wait, I need to clarify something. So here's the thing. The thing about when you think about somebody, you stick with that energy, yeah? And because of that, this person is going to, I mean, you have the wheel, so I just cannot explain it, but somehow they're going to present themselves in you. So if you work together, somehow there is a situation in which your boss is going to assign you to work together with this person, or you're going to walk down the streets and then da-da, there you are, I meet you, oh no, you know, stuff like that. But the thing is that you guys are acting so indifferent with one another. You know, like you know, something in the stars, it's just kind of like written in the stars that you guys are going to either reconnect, or you're, you know, just circumstances of life eventually will just kind of like make you meet again. And then this person is going to kind of like quite act indifferent, and this person will have a much more showy, because in this particular deck of mine, the Queen of Pentacles has a little bit of a showy attitude. It's like, look what I have, oh my god, look what I have achieved, look, I'm so stable now, look, I'm happy now, and stuff like that. Or it could be you're scrolling down Instagram and suddenly you have a suggestion feed about them, and they're making a cryptic message as if like they're happy and da-da-da-da, stuff like that. And it's going to feed off your Seven of Cups, so it's going to feed off your fantasies, and you're going to be kind of like swept off of your emotional feet again because of their Queen of Pentacles nature. So basically, things will work out somehow that's going to make you kind of like be like this again. So it's like meet again. And then I feel like you're going to take that giant leap of faith again. But the thing is that, you know, High Priestess and the King of Swords. So basically what both of you want is the Two of Wands, right? Working together hand in hand, building something from scratch. But how you show it on the surface is this. Kind of like quite indifferent with one another. And there are so many unsaid words, there are so many mistakes or upset or disappointment that you have not been able to communicate, and so do they. There's like a lot of things that needs to be solved here, Aquarius, and yeah, it just kind of like depends on who is the bigger person who wants to start that conversations or not. Because if not, it's always going to be on the surface level. Like, the root of the problem is never going to be solved. You have the Five of Pentacles in reverse in here, meaning that the period of disappointment is soon going to be over, but it's still on the surface level. You need to get into the root of the problem and really talk things through, you know? So I usually do one person scenario and two people scenario, but this is too much focus on one person. I don't feel like, yeah, this is so much focusing on one person. I see somebody new coming in for you, though it could be like an earth sign or a Leo person. This person is going to feed off your fantasy, because this person, yeah, gonna feed off your fantasy, but still, I think the person from your past, you know, with how it's being written in the stars and stuff like that, is going to make you take that giant leap of faith towards them. And that's about it, okay? So I think that's it for my reading for you, Aquarius. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys for your 20 to 30 June reading. All right, bye-bye. I love you.